Skune is biking to school like an ugly beta NPC with zero riz when he meets Mocha, also biking, and they lock eyes like a romance glitch in a busted dating sim. This bum immediately asks if she wants to suck his blood because his brain is powered by expired Wi-Fi. Mocha says no, she wants a kiss instead, because she's clearly after his sausage. He nervously asks if that's okay, closes his eyes, leans in, and boom, inner Mocha patch update installs mid-cutscene. She tells him he's got balls for trying that, then teaches him his place by punting him into the sky like a failed software beta test. He wakes up. It was a dream. Of course it was. Reality hasn't clapped him yet. Give it time. He's back in the human world, late, apologizing to his mom, running past his cousin Kyoko like a debt collector is chasing him. She's annoyed, which is fair. He barely makes the Yokai Academy bus. He's 17 now, going into year 2 at monster school, still somehow breathing. The bus driver drops some ominous NPC wisdom about chaos always pulling up when things calm down. Skune nods like he understands words. He doesn't. In the forest, he reminisces, hears a bike, thinks it's Mocha. Wrong, it's a mystery girl who crashes into him anyway. He tries to help, accidentally grabs chest because his hands are magnetized to lawsuits. She kicks him, calls him a pervert, then immediately says he smells delicious and licks his bleeding wound like it's a juice box. Then she kicks him again and leaves without her bike. Skune is left bleeding, confused and spiritually unemployed. At the school gate, Yukari and Kurumu are being worshipped by freshman girls in a scene that looks like pure TikTok brain rot. Yukari rushes Skune. Kurumu smothers him with thirst. Mizore snipes Kurumu with ice and declares Skune hers like a collector's item. They power up, about to throw hands, until Mocha shows up. Skune catches her, she bites him immediately. Romance. Freshman girls then swarm Mocha, grope her, and kidnap her like feral gremlins. Skune gets trampled. Standard Monday. In homeroom, it's déjà vu hell. Same class, same teacher, same chaos. Everyone cheers. Saizo looks like he wants to be dead. Fan letters start appearing. Mizore reads a stalker letter and is cool with it. Mocha gets buried under letters until one says she'll be murdered tomorrow. Everyone panics except Mizore, who's emotionally on airplane mode. Gin is caught spying on girls, gets kicked into unconsciousness. Karma speedrun. Skune and Mocha find another death letter taped to his back like spam mail from Satan. Mocha loses it and runs. That night, Mizore confronts the mystery girl, shoots ice, misses. Skill issue. Next morning, Mocha hasn't slept because letters kept spawning every 10 minutes like malware pop-ups. Skune vows to protect her, which is funny because he's built like a wet paper towel. Chaos erupts in the auditorium. Chairs fly. One knocks Skune into Mocha, pulling off the rosary. Inner Mocha activates, dominates everyone, and fixes the problem with violence. Outside, the mystery girl reveals herself as Mocha's sister and her biggest hater. Mocha bites Skune again for power, because his only purpose is being a blood-flavored battery. Cocoa pulls up like a final boss with Little Sister DLC, announcing she's waited her whole life to delete Mocha from the server, but when she dive kicks in, our beta clown Skune jumps in the way. Cocoa goes flying through trees. The bat starts hyping her up like a scuffed esports commentator, and then she starts wilding out, lifting trees and smashing everyone away, while Mizore rage quits behind cover like a stealth camper. Cocoa grabs a desk and charges again, and Skune's dusty NPC body steps in just to get folded and start bleeding, which instantly turns both vampire sisters into thirsty harem goblins, sniffing around his neck like they just smelled premium sausage on sale. She licks his blood, gets kicked by Kurumu, Then Mocha starts losing control from his scent and gets punted too, proving these psychotic harem members are all competing in the Who Wants Skune's Sausage Olympics while he stands there looking like an ugly bum with negative riz and probably bad breath. At the infirmary, Yukari plays nurse while Kurumu holds Mocha back so she doesn't drain this loser like expired Capri Sun, and Skune asks for the tragic backstory instead of mouthwash or a personality upgrade. Mocha explains the whole vampire sister drama, different moms, 4 sisters, non-stop childhood fights where she always won until her power got sealed, and she ran from Cocoa like she was dodging horror movie jump scares on loop. Yukari realizes Cocoa literally transferred schools just to smoke her sister, while Mizore casually offers to freeze the menace like she's clearing browser tabs. Suddenly, the bat announces round 2, Cocoa crashes through the window, and the bat transforms into a hammer like he just downloaded a weapon skin update nobody asked for. She trashes the room, Mizore drops the deadpan, "This bitch is nuts," and everyone sprints out while Mocha drags Skune's useless body like she's doing daily chores with extra weight. Even the teachers are in the lounge calling it a scandal while Cocoa sprints down the hall hammering walls like a budget Thor speedrunning school property damage. Later, Cocoa corners Mocha outside with the bat turned into a morning star, and Mocha's defending herself with a fence piece like she's playing Dark Souls with a broken weapon, refusing to go full power because sis is still sis. Cocoa beats her down and cries that Mocha won't fight like the old days, and the squad realizes all this chaos was just one deranged little sister missing her original DLC big sis. But when everyone thinks Mocha and Skune got squashed, inner Mocha appears, claps Cocoa with one clean kick. Then Cocoa suddenly switches from murder mode to big sister hug like she just patched her emotions with a free trial therapy app. Inner Mocha reseals, faints, and Cocoa blames Mocha's friends for making her weak, while Skune hauls her back, still a limp simp with 0 Sigma energy. Half asleep, Mocha shares a soft moment, then bites him again, and this clown just screams while getting his neck farmed like he's a rechargeable blood power bank that every thirsty girl wants to clap and drain on cooldown. Skune, our main man, well, man is generous, shows up to class looking like an unwashed NPC who hasn't leveled up in years. It's Parents' Day at Yokai Academy, but this clown didn't even tell his folks because, duh, he's human at a monster school. His classmates think his parents just trust him, bro. No one should trust him with a paperclip. Mocha, the vampire goddess who's way out of his league, says she wants to meet his mom, and this poor beta daydreams like he's starring in a Hallmark movie. She's glowing, angelic, cooking fantasies in his brain, while he's over here drooling like a busted faucet. Fast forward, class time. Saizo, the ogre himbo, is grumpy until Mummy and Daddy show up, and suddenly he's 5 years old again. Skune, ever the conversational disaster, asks Mocha if her parents are coming. She says nope, they've ghosted for years. Before they can trauma bond, Cocoa rockets in like a red-haired missile and attacks Skune for existing. She declares war on Mocha, emotionally and physically, then dips. Mocha patches up the ugly bum, and just when the moment softens, bam, Mizore slides in from the shadows like she's been paid in frostbite. She drags her mum Tsurara into the scene, claiming Skune is her boyfriend, girls living in fanfiction. Then Kurumu bursts in, mother in tow, claiming Skune's her fiancé. Bro can't even get a proper GPA, but somehow he's engaged twice? Kurumu's mom, Agaha, is basically MILF.exe, immediate physical contact, no cooldown timer. Says her daughter's inexperienced and begs Skune to educate her. Man's about to need restraining orders printed in bulk. Yukari shows up, thankfully not thirsting today, with her witch parents. For once, peace reigns. But the moment class starts, Tsurara and Agaha lock eyes like TikTok rivals ready for a thirst trap duel. They start bumping into each other, passive-aggressive chaos personified. Next, these two walking midlife crises argue over whose daughter will secure Tsukune's sausage. Turns out, they're both still mad over some long-lost crush named Gonzo, who, plot twist, looked exactly like Tsukune. Man, that genetic lottery really spread stupidity. Flashback reveals Gonzo ditched them for a girl who looked like Mocha, which explains everything. This harem runs on recycled drama. Then chaos levels spike. Mocha's Rosario pops off. Inner Mocha comes out, queen energy unlocked. She calls the mums old. They rage. Tsukune intervenes and immediately faceplants into a fan service nightmare, grabbing both mums' assets like a full-body oopsie. Suddenly, they're all blushing. No one's fighting. And both mums shoot their shot like, if it doesn't work out with my daughter. Bro just caught a mother-daughter double L he'll never recover from. End of day. Everyone apologizes like trauma's been cured by vibes alone. Then Saizo's parents show up. Gonzo's overweight, balding reveal kills everyone's nostalgia instantly. The mums faint, their daughters despair, and Tsukune remains an unwashed simp with the romantic instincts of wet cardboard. Just as you think it's over, Mocha leans in for that sweet anime love moment and bites his neck again. Tsukune breaks the fourth wall like, "Didn't we do this already?" "Yeah, buddy, but your life is on loop, and it's all L's." Yukari's walking to school, brain absolutely marinating in hopes of impressing the local NPC king himself. Tsukune, who has the charisma of soggy turds and the dental hygiene of expired garlic. She spots him, waves like a golden retriever, but this beta rejects her existence to simp over Mocha again. Classic. Kurumu pops in just to mention Yukari's still a kid, immediately catching a washtub to the face like it's her karma update. Yukari sulks but then sees a fancy red dress, thinking, once I glow up, he'll be into me. Girl, you're manifesting for this man? Get a grip. After her daily dose of rejection, she sees Mocha chugging Tsukune's blood like a Starbucks frappe while he just sits there smiling, basically saying, "Please drain my soul more." Kurumu interrupts the vampiric snack session, and Yukari spirals about not being tall or stacked enough. She sneaks into the nurse's office, checks her height, and no update. No patch notes, no growth DLC. Then the nurse, Marco, slides in like a suspicious pop-up ad promising instant results. One poke later, boom, Yukari downloads puberty in 0.3 seconds. She wakes up, confused, overhears dudes drooling nearby, thinks they're simping for Mocha, but nope, it's her. She walks into class. Everyone's baffled like she just deep-faked herself into womanhood. To prove she's still Yukari, she drops a washtub on Kurumu's head again, truly her love language. Then she sees her reflection and realizes, oh no, she's got a grown-up body and a skirt shorter than a tweet. Back in the nurse's office, she's mesmerized by her new chest download. Marco's just grinning like the shady tech support guy who knows you didn't read the terms and conditions. Yukari praises her new form like it's a free trial of adulthood, and the nurse is eating that attention alive. Nighttime bath scene. Yukari's testing gravity on Mocha's assets, realizing they're not as massive as she thought before she grew. She starts feeling them anyway, just to make sure. Scientific curiosity, you know. Mocha confirms, yep, that's Yukari. They talk bras. Mocha's stressed because Yukari's rocking a transparent top like it's OnlyFans prep. Next day, they're out bra shopping, while Kurumu and Mizore are roasting theories. Kurumu assumes it's magic. Mizore says maybe she slept for 10,000 years, which honestly makes more sense than Tsukune having a harem. Yukari's flaunting her new user interface, saying, as for sex appeal, I totally rock. And the thirsty boys prove it by literally buying pics of her. Local simp economy booms. Fast forward, Yukari shows off her glow-up to Mako, who keeps grinning like a malware bot. Skune appears, Yukari cannonballs onto him yelling, "Catch me!" And, of course, this ugly bum gets crushed like a used soda can. He lectures her, instead of enjoying contact with an actual girl. She tries flirting. He bolts like an unplugged Wi-Fi signal. This dude's allergic to W-Riz. In class, she's pouty again, wondering why Captain Beta keeps ogling Mocha instead of her. The next day, measurements begin, prime harem chaos. Ruby's helping, and when she measures Yukari, she screams, "Dear God, they're huge." Meanwhile, Kurumu flexes that hers are still dominating the leaderboard. Then Yukari spots Mako again and, realizing this nurse has creepy sponsor energy, asks for help. Plot twist. Mako's a parasite, living off Yukari's insecurity buffet, made her mature just to feed on that rejection pain. Yukari fights back, loses her magic, and after an anime nap, realizes emotional maturity isn't included in the body update. She resets to her kid self, short again but smiling. Everyone's stunned, but she's chill. Kurumu clowns her. Mizure says she's one step closer to being a woman. Kurumu snaps, violence ensues, and Skune walks by like the world's blandest background extra. Yukari skips up, kisses him, and hits the whole harem with a mic drop. "You snooze, you lose." Mizure's in her dorm, cooking curry like she's trying to disarm a bomb with ice powers. The pot's going nuclear, curry overflow everywhere, and she burns her hand like she just touched hot Wi-Fi. She freezes the pot, the room, and probably her GPA. But when she looks at a photo of Skune, the human equivalent of a wet napkin, she decides to keep going. Bro doesn't even know a snow girl's risking hypothermia just to feed him. Next day, the boys are in shop class, pretending to work. Skune's so distracted thinking about Mocha that he nearly gets turned into sawdust. Homie's daydreaming like a beta simp, imagining Mocha in an apron, calling it her love menu. My guy's drooling so hard his classmates might drown. When he snaps back, Saizo's already soared through a whole table, truly a class full of NPCs. Meanwhile, the girls get assigned to make curry. Miss Apsara's giving a TED talk about its history while Kurumu's turning hers into an aphrodisiac bomb. She's out here sprinkling in love potions like it's Riz seasoning. Mocha checks Yukari's curry and nearly faints. It's green sludge with frogs and bugs. Yukari calls it healthy. Sis, that's witchcraft stew. The teacher adds enough spice to nuke a small country and calls it a taste test. Ruby shows up like she's committed tax fraud, claiming she's doing remedial cooking. Sure. Outside, Cocoa's molding about her vampire sister daring to touch mortal food. Mizure's stalking again, probably with binoculars and emotional damage. She calls Cocoa clingier than a Windows update. Cocoa tries to attack, gets frozen faster than an iPhone at 1%. The other girls pull Mizure inside to cook with them because why not invite your emotionally unstable stalker to join cooking class? Later, time for taste testing. The boys line up like hungry peasants. Saizo's mad no girl gave him curry, bro, take a hint. Kurumu tries to feed Skune her love potion stew. Yukari interferes with her frog smoothie, and Mizure tops it off with a frozen brick of regret. Students roast her cooking, so she does what any normal classmate would, freezes the entire room. Literally iced out the haters. Meanwhile, Cocoa calls curry low class, and Miss Apsara snaps like Gordon Ramsay on a caffeine overdose. She burns her skirt, goes demon mode, and force feeds Cocoa super spicy curry until she screams louder than a Twitter argument. On the roof, Misere's depressed again, thinking maybe snow girls are just meant to die alone. But she remembers Mocha's advice not to fold like cheap Wi-Fi, so she tries again. Cue training montage. Chopping ingredients with ice, wearing fireproof suits, adding chocolate like she's auditioning for Hell's Kitchen, ends up choking on fumes. Never give up, Queen of Frostbite. After dozens of failed attempts, and probably food poisoning herself, Misere finally makes edible curry. She's ready to impress her ugly crush. But when she gets to school, plot twist. Everyone's yellow and obsessed with curry like a cult powered by turmeric. Turns out Miss Apsara went full villain mode and hypnotized the school. Bro Skune begs for curry with lips puffed up like bad filler injections. Misere gives him her shaved ice curry, basically frozen love. Boom, spell broken. Skune calls it the best thing ever, proving once again that mediocrity fuels this man. Miss Apsara starts an all-out food war, hurling spicy nukes while Misere blocks with frost like a busted Pokemon battle. A giant curry plate slaps Skune into Mocha, unlocking her Sigma form. Even covered in yellow skin, she's still a baddie. Miss Apsara charges again. Mocha goes full boss fight mode and punts her into next week. Victory achieved. Beta Boy saved by strong women. Again. But of course, peace doesn't last. The school floods with curry. Everyone's screaming, slipping, and bathing in spicy disaster. Cleaning takes a week, but Misere serves her new shaved ice stew, and somehow everyone loves it. Kurumu calls Cap. Misore says it's pure love for Skune. Girl, have some standards. She blushes pink, and the harem reset button gets hit again. The episode starts off at the docks, where a bunch of discount cosplay rejects calling themselves Monster Industries are having a team meeting. The leader, Goblin of Tosa, thanks his homies, Sea Monk of Awa, Ghost Brat of Io, and Wraith of Sanuki, for showing up to his low-budget TED Talk about street domination. Basically, it's a gang meeting, but with more slime, less brain cells. Meanwhile, back in the human world, the Yokai Academy squad's on a school trip. Ruby's now a tour guide, which really means she's catching every single guy's attention except for tragic main character energy himself, Skune the beta bum with all the charisma of a damp sock. Apparently, people think he made Ruby cry. But let's be real, man's too broke in the emotional department to make anyone feel anything but pity. The bus stops. Kurumu breaks the fourth wall, demanding the spotlight as usual, but everyone treats her like an unwanted ad pop-up and walks off. Mocha tries to sneak in some lovey-dovey time with Skune, but the teacher says, "Nah fam, group only, so no solo simp sessions today." While feeding fish, they catch the sea monk eating one of them like it's sushi night. Man's got zero shame. Somewhere nearby, Cocoa's speedrunning her way on a bike to catch up, but karma hits back, literally. She gets steamrolled by the bus, turning her into a pancake deluxe. Next scene, souvenir shopping chaos. Mocha spots a cute love charm, tries to ask our crusty protagonist what he thinks, but he's busy being mobbed by Kurumu, Yukari, and Misore. 3 dangerously thirsty harem members fighting for his sausage privileges. Mocha finds a skeleton keychain, calls it cute. The others act like it's radioactive. She gets sad because everyone's smothering this ugly bum like he's got maxed out Riz when he's actually running on demo mode charm. Then she bumps into some random dudes. Charm smiles her way out. Their bosses, aka Monster Industries, spot her uniform and start plotting. Cue Cocoa again. She finds the same keychain, goes all woo, bumps into the same idiots, and nearly commits war crimes when they threaten her. Classic sister behavior. Evening rolls around. The girls fight over who gets to flirt with Mr. NPC Deluxe, aka Skune, at the hotel. They drop "leave the door open tonight" lines. Bro can't breathe without triggering someone's thirst levels. Mocha's moping again because she's too emotionally constipated to confess. Later, the hot spring scene hits. Kurumu and Yukari are vibing until Mocha dumps herbs in like she's making bath soup. Kokoa peeps through the door like a suburban FBI agent, gets caught by the teacher, and naked sprints through the halls after losing her towel. This shows a fever dream. Cut to bedtime. Kurumu and Yukari throw pajama shade at each other while Mizore keeps dropping ice packs everywhere like Elsa on NyQuil. The slapstick continues. Kurumu keeps booting her into ponds, and Mizore's into it. The night escalates into full harem pursuit when all the girls decide to stalk Skune and Mocha's secret late-night meetup. Mocha finally tells Skune she wants to spend time together. Romantic, right? Nope. Seamonk rolls up like an unpaid Uber driver and kidnaps him. Mocha gets blocked by a mini ghost toddler. The rest of the girls rush in like an army of unhinged fangirls. The Wraith drops some fiery threats. Mizore freezes him like leftover pizza. Morning comes. Skune's still wet and still useless. The girls show up in new goth outfits, ready to brawl. Monster Industries pulls up again, explaining their goal: get rid of yokai and rule the streets. The girls are like, bet. Fights break out. Kurumu gets body slammed by the sea monk's fat rolls, which feels like getting eaten by a beanbag chair. Yukari decks Ghost Brat with a tub. Mizore freezes Wraith into an ice statue. Goblin rips Mocha's skirt, giving Skune the worst nosebleed of 2026. Mocha claps back with anime justice and breaks his mask. His face is somehow worse underneath. Then Kokoa shows up as the surprise boss. Turns out she already clapped the gang yesterday, and they now worship her. She tries to act all tough, but Mocha tells her to hurry up if she wants breakfast. Brutal. Kokoa charges, gets one-shotted into orbit by inner Mocha, who pops out just to flex then dips again. Last scene, everyone's sightseeing again, but Skune and Mocha go missing. Monster Industries finds them, bows, and declares Mocha their new boss. Paparazzi starts snapping pics. Mocha panics, and of course, she bites Skune. Because if your beta main can't keep a girlfriend, he might as well be brunch. Just a quick reminder to like and subscribe if you enjoy content like this. Otherwise, our editor will cry. Now back to the video. Skune's mom is just chilling, watching TV about teenage pregnancies, casual family bonding content, when her crusty little goblin of a son randomly shows up unannounced. She thinks he's matured. Spoiler alert, he hasn't. He's still rocking the same NPC energy he had last semester. But then ding dong, the doorbell rings again. She opens the door and screams, not because it's tax season, but because a certified 10 out of 10 vampire girl is standing there asking for her dusty little boy. Yup, it's Mocha. She's brought main girl energy to Skune's starter home vibes. While Mom's in the kitchen making tea to cope with the idea her son might actually have Riz, Skune's showing Mocha around his room, aka the Cave of Cringe. She tells him she came because she thought he might chicken out and never come back to Yokai Academy. Relatable, honestly. Then they fall on his bed, almost kiss, and boom, his hand lands on something soft. Bro panic levels spike harder than Bitcoin in 2021. Turns out it's Kurumu, who's been sleeping under his sheets like a freaky DLC character. She immediately goes full thirsty demon girlfriend, suffocating him with premium pillow physics until she realizes Mocha's right there. Plot twist number 2. Mizore's hiding in the closet. Girls running on stalker Wi-Fi with no lag. And just when the chaos reaches level 100, Yukari swings in through the window like she's doing parkour. Now we've got 4 psychotic harem members ready to fight over one guy who looks like he smells like expired beef jerky. Mom walks in, sees the madness, and instantly faints. Hard reset. When she wakes up, she hits Skune with the question of the century: are you having out-of-control teenage sex with these girls? Bro's jaw drops harder than his GPA, and he squeaks out that they're just friends. Every girl immediately takes psychic damage. Congrats, Skune, you've unlocked the zero Riz ending. Meanwhile, Cocoa, Mocha's hyperactive little sister, is out here pedaling a bicycle faster than a bullet train. A Ferrari driver calls her a strawberry because of her panties. Bro, this episode's physics engine is on bath salts. Back home, our hero tries to shower the loser aura away, but Kurumu walks in wearing nothing but a towel, ready to upgrade from just friends to main quest. Mizore slides in, freezes the floor, and starts her own seduction attempt. Then Yukari crashes the party, slips on a bar of soap, and accidentally strips Kurumu, Nosebleed City. Skune sprays like a malfunctioning ketchup bottle. Mom faints. Again. Then Skune's cousin Kyoko rolls up and immediately starts judging. She demands to know which girl's his actual girlfriend, so she sets up a battle of the waifus. Each one makes their case and fails spectacularly. Kurumu says she can satisfy him best. Yukari makes it sound like an 18-plus group project. Mizore talks about making babies, and Mocha accidentally implies they've already done it. Mom flatlines again like it's her cardio routine. Eventually, Kurumu and Mizore take their beef to the streets like a budget Dragon Ball fight. Yukari joins in, Kyoko gets smacked by a random washtub, casual yokai weather, I guess. When Mom wakes up, Mocha explains they're just classmates. She drops her last name, and Mom realizes it's one she recognizes, Small World Energy. Mocha tears up when Skune's mom thanks her for making her Polish son happy. Back at the park, the girls glow like they're about to soft reset the planet. Mocha pulls off the rosary, goes inner vamp mode, and literally kicks the thirst out of them. She calls out Skune for having less decision-making skills than a broken Roomba. Morning after, Ruby pulls up to revoke everyone's travel passes for blowing up suburbia. Skune tries to play innocent, but guilt by association hits hard. Mom tells Mocha she's always welcome back, and Mocha cries again, proving tears are her secondary language. On the bus home, the girls bicker. Skune panics when he thinks Mocha told his mom he called her scary, and she playfully bites him anyway. Family friend tier romance, guys. Meanwhile, Kyoko wakes up trying to snitch about the girls' powers, but Mom chalks it up to a dream. Then, ding dong, Cocoa finally arrives. Late. She missed literally everything. Peak side character energy. Ruby kicks things off, acting all mysterious like she's the main character now. She says she works at Yokai Academy, but her long story apparently can't fit in one episode. Like, girl, you're just the background witch, not the main arc. She spots Skune, that certified beta with the Riz level of a dog turd, and immediately wonders if something spicy could ever happen between them. Sis, he's got the charisma of a broken toaster. Nothing's happening. Just as she's down bad for this ugly bum, Mocha shows up with that pink sparkle aura, calling Skune's name like she's summoning a simp. Before Ruby can even cope, Kurumu drops in, glues herself to Skune like a premium OnlyFans subscription, and smashes her chest right into his NPC face. Ruby's about to uninstall herself out of existence from jealousy. But wait, Yukari bursts in, the tiny genius gremlin, and now she's also hanging off Skune. Then Mizore twirls in, dizzy from orbiting his lame energy too long, and Skune catches her like he's a discount rom-com hero. Ruby finally snaps. She's boiling harder than a CPU mining crypto. The girls realize she exists and greet her. She only returns one towards Yukari, because everyone else is too busy thirsting after Skune's tragic sausage. Suddenly, she starts policing everyone's skirts like she's a mobile security app. She calls them tramps for dressing like low-budget idols, but Kurumu and Mizore just double down, flashing Skune for validation. Then Kurumu calls Ruby a hypocrite, but Ruby flexes her long, elegant skirt, the grandma fit nobody asked for. The girls laugh, and Ruby rage quits reality by declaring herself dress code monitor. 10 centimeters below the knee, zero sense of fun. Absolute villain era unlocked. Meanwhile, poor Ms. Nekonome overhears Ruby's new rule and panics because her whole wardrobe is basically not safe for dress code. She goes shopping but ends up annoying cashier Ruby by trying on bikinis in the wrong aisle. Then Ms. Ririko drags Nekonome out by the ears, yeets her swimsuit apart, and forces her to buy it. Nekonome walks away like she just got banned from a Discord server. Ririko then tries on a school uniform, and Ruby's face says, "I've lost faith in the faculty." Next up, Gin pops back in, introducing himself as Prez of the News Club, aka the paparazzi of Monster School. He drops spicy pics of the security committee and Kato's squad in underwear like it's TMZ for yokai. Of course, he claims it's thanks to Skune that he got his pride back, bro. Having Skune as your role model is like downloading brain rot directly into your soul. He even tries Skune's hairstyle, thinking that's the secret sauce. The girls roast him instead, calling it bedhead, massive L. Now it's Ririko's turn to go full villain again. She kidnaps Mocha and waits on the roof, plotting revenge. A random superhero cat appears, fights her, gets its suit ripped, and boom, it's just Nekonome in cosplay. Real talk, that reveal had less impact than a TikTok transition. Everyone just stands there like, bro, what? Cut back to Skune, still reeking of beta energy and blood loss. Mocha says his blood tastes fruity. Bro's bloodstream is a jamba juice. He chugs milk, vinegar, hot sauce, and garlic to make himself undrinkable like he's doing a Hot Ones challenge. Eventually, his BO becomes a biological weapon, and Mocha runs away. Dubious W, but at least he's not dinner. Yukari finds a puppy, thinks it's cute, but it destroys the news club room like a mini F5 tornado. Gin throws her out because even he has standards. Ruby meanwhile doubles down on her skirt enforcement crusade and electrocutes some girls for disobedience. PowerPoint presentation levels of righteousness. Gin tries to bribe her into mercy, but Ruby baits him with a private photo session. He agrees faster than an NFT investor chasing a scam. She's like, what a sucker, and ropes the teachers into it too. The next day, Skune and the gang complain about their long skirts until a random gust flashes everyone. Ruby malfunctions, trips, and accidentally flashes her own spicy underwear, scandal.exe. The girls roast her hypocrisy instantly. Ruby tearfully confesses she just wanted Skune's affection. Bro gives her the generic, "we can all hang out" speech, and she immediately misreads it as a marriage proposal. Massive delusion arc. Finally, Gin triggers inner Mocha like a buffoon, gets kicked into another dimension, and everyone resets to default chaos settings. Ruby sings about friendship while flashbacks run, pretending this show's ever had emotional depth. Cut to her later by the riverside, now babysitting Yukari's stray dog because Misery needs company. Everyone meets up, plays with the pup, and ends on suspiciously wholesome vibes. But wait, post-credits reveal Ruby's actually a secret guardian of the Great Barrier. So yeah, the horny witch with a school ruler is secretly defending peace between humans and monsters. Peak absurdity. Cocoa starts off the episode in full FBI surveillance mode, reviewing tapes of her big sis Mocha throwing hands like she's in an anime version of UFC. She realizes Skune, the human equivalent of a Wi-Fi signal with no bars, is always the one removing the rosary. In her smooth brain logic, she's like, bet. I'll just steal it. So she storms off to Mocha's class, but surprise, no one's home. The whole squad dipped for a ski trip. Cocoa's anger levels hit Karen denied a refund tier. Meanwhile, on the bus to the resort, Mocha asks Skune if they'll ski together, which is adorable until the harem Avengers, Kuremu, Mizore, and Yukari, bulldoze her like Black Friday shoppers, trying to kiss this beta's chapped lips. Bros surrounded by women, thirstier than cactus in a drought, but still acts like a confused NPC. When they arrive, they're greeted by some snow fairies who almost freeze them solid, like Windows crashing mid-update. Mizore appears wearing a skirt shorter than Skune's attention span and drops the plot twist. This icy wasteland, her hometown. Her mom, Tsurara, owns the whole resort because apparently running the North Pole pays well. The two of them exchange glances that scream, "We're about to breed this man like a shiny Pokémon." Skune still has no clue. Cocoa finally catches up on the mountain with Ku, who's like, "Shortcut to the top." Spoiler, it's not. Up on the slope, Skune and Mocha run into Ruby, who's their instructor, though she's salty that she gets less screen time than Skune's toothbrush. He and Mocha start yelling to hear echoes. But the echo lasts too long. Turns out it's Kuremu rolling in, strapped to a snowball like a budget Indiana Jones. She crashes into Skune and starts begging him to instruct her. Ew. Then Yukari flies in too, demanding lessons, and Kuremu roasts her for being flat like a broken CRT screen. Yukari's revenge? Skiing while lying down. Yup, peak maturity. But the fight for the sausage intensifies when Mizore shows up, kidnaps Skune, and hauls him to her igloo of dreams like it's Amazon Prime same-day delivery. Unfortunately, Skune Houdini'd out of his jacket mid-kidnap. Mizore realizes this too late, because she's too busy daydreaming baby names. Out in the snow, Skune wanders freezing and alone, basically his natural state, until Mocha finds him. Just when things might get fluffy, Cocoa erupts from the snow like a budget Pokémon, demanding the rosary. She fails, blows a fuse about inferior humans, and somehow Scream triggers a full avalanche. Only in anime can shouting cause mass geological events. Elsewhere, the rest of the girls chill, literally, in the hot springs. Ruby sips juice because she's a law-abiding minor. Kuremu and Yukari argue about who owns Skune's meat weapon, and Tsurara slides in, freezing half the pool by accident. The thirst levels remain alarming. Cocoa wakes up in a cave with Skune, who explains that he snow-sealed the entrance like some low-IQ survivalist. Cocoa says she hates him because Mocha gives him everything, the rosary, her blood, her time, basically a full subscription package, while she's left on the trial version. She collapses from hypothermia, and Skune cuddles her for warmth. Bro's Riz level finally hits one by accident. Then a wild yeti appears, literally. Mizore pops in to fight it while Skune drags Cocoa to safety. Mocha shows up and Skune, brave idiot that he is, pulls the rosary, releasing Dominatrix Mocha 2.0. She casually yeets the Yeti into the sky like she's uninstalling malware. But plot twist, the Yeti? Mizore's dad. Yup. Her parents orchestrated this whole ski trip to arrange marriage their daughter to this ugly bum. Family values, I guess. The crew heads home on the bus. Mizore flirts about bringing Skune back next time, but Bro's face says never. Behind them, her parents drop the Yeti act, literally unmasking Scooby-Doo style, and start calling Skune the perfect son-in-law. Ew. Back on the road, Mocha worries Cocoa caught a cold, but nope, the gremlin's chasing the bus, flipping him off like a true sibling. Skune sighs, wondering if they'll ever be friends. Kurumu and the rest swarm him again, claiming they'll all be his wife someday. Mocha's like, "Nah, he's mine," and bites him. Bro ends the episode losing blood and dignity. Just another day for the world's ugliest harem protagonist. Deshiko's out here walking to school, reflecting on how last year's L streak still haunts her, like she's running Windows Vista in her brain. Suddenly, she hears this French dude say "je t'aime," which is basically download malware for her heart. She turns around, sees this random transfer kid Kotaro, and immediately decides she'll be his lifelong simp. Girl went from "good morning" to "command me, daddy" in 0.2 seconds. Somebody call tech support. Cut to class. Ms. Nekonome introduces Kotaro like he's some mysterious Sigma with Riz levels off the charts. Meanwhile, Skune, the ugliest bum in Yokai Academy, our limp noodle of a protagonist, is in the corner breathing like a broken humidifier. Mocha and her harem squad act like they care about him, but let's be real, they're all just fighting over who gets to be first to ride the beta train. Kotaro accidentally steps on Skune's foot, and this crusty NPC actually apologizes. Dude's already taking L's before lunch. After class, Kotaro's already got side chicks, Kato's old minions, walking him to music class. He drops another "je t'aime," like he's handing out limited edition simp coupons, and boom, 3 new worshippers added to his cult. Kotaro's cooking up a master plan, and it smells like pure evil scented with cheap cologne. At lunch, the news club debates what to write next. Kurumu wants a cooking column, Yukari wants to cosplay as a tarot reader, and Mizore? She suggests a column for stalkers, because apparently she's proud of being a walking red flag. Poor Skune tries to sound like a leader, but man's got less charisma than an unplugged router. Then Yukari slips on a banana peel, classic slapstick, and Kotaro, the French menace, swoops in, calls her little bunny, drops that signature "je t'aime," and now she's ready to risk it all. Why does every girl in this school have the emotional defenses of Internet Explorer? During PE, Skune attempts a jump but faceplants like a wet spaghetti noodle. He's concussed but still dumber than before. An achievement, really. Mizore finds his suffering beautiful, freak behavior, until Kotaro shows up and hits her with the "don't frown" beautiful line, which is basically a subscription to hypnosis brain rot. He "je t'aimes" again, and boom, another girl added to his love zoo. Then it's Mocha and Kurumu's turn in the volleyball cleanup arc. Kurumu can't carry the volleyballs because physics hates her chest, so she drops everything and Kotaro appears like a horny magician. He asks her to show him the real her, and somehow this dehydrated succubus takes it literally. Shirt flies up. Kotaro's eyes light up like he just unlocked the secret ending, and Mocha walks in like, "Bro, what?" Kotaro tries Frenching his way out with more "je t'aimes" until both Mocha and Kurumu are fully hypnotized, clinging to him like he's discount perfume. They're moaning about how much they want him while Skune's somewhere else eating cafeteria food and wondering why his life smells like failure. Meanwhile, Kokoa's hunting for her bat, Ku, like a girl hunting her lost AirPods. She stumbles on Kotaro, seducing the entire student body, and just calls him gross, which is the first sane take of the episode. Back in class, Skune notices every girl has turned into Kotaro simps, but his 5 brain cells can't connect the dots. Later, Kotaro transforms the girls into his personal security team, like an army of horny bodyguards. Skune tries to rescue them, but Kotaro's victims block his path like, "You can't sit with us." Mocha almost breaks free when she hears Skune's voice, but Kotaro hits "je t'aime" like a boss fight combo string, and the girls start begging for punishment. Bro invented 50 Shades of Yokai. Skune and Gin investigate, but Kotaro turns Gin into a barking puppy, literally. Gin sitting next to a water bowl like man just got demoted to household pet. Kotaro now has the entire female population under his spell, including the teacher, and he's planning to hypnotize the whole school. Truly the Sigma arc for one, and the clown arc for everyone else. Evening drops. Kokoa's still yelling about her missing bat when she sees posters for Kotaro's concert. She ignores them, peak Gen Z attention span. Inside, Kotaro is performing live while the girls are backup dancing in outfits that scream fan service DLC. He spams J-Tem like a broken record while Skune shows up too late, as always. Ruby tries to help, but turns out she's also been mind-jacked and proceeds to beat Skune with her wand like she's swatting a mosquito. The girls internally apologize, but make no mistake, they're still hyped for Kotaro's sausage. Kokoa bursts in, raging, and Kotaro accidentally lets slip he's actually her bat in disguise. He tries to cast J-Tame again, upgrading from yellow spell to angry red spell, but Mocha and Kokoa resist. Skune finally does something useful, trips into Mocha and breaks her rosary, summoning Inner Mocha like a DLC boss patch. She proceeds to kick Kotaro so hard he starts bouncing around like a ping-pong ball in hell. Then he peeks up their skirts, turning his death from justified to mandatory. Both sisters team kick him so hard he reverts to bat form and explodes into a fart cloud. The hypnosis is broken. Everyone collapses like post-LAN party laptops. Mocha's fine, Skune's bleeding but probably used to it, and Coco's pretending she doesn't care. Mocha sucks Skune's blood again while the rest of the girls glare because somehow he gets rewarded for existing like a soggy breadstick. Outside, Kokoa walks away, calling Inner Mocha her real sister, dragging Ko with her, who immediately crashes into the dirt again. Man really went from manipulative villain to roadkill in under 5 minutes. So Kyoko, our nosy cousin / pure human NPC, decides she's about to uncover the dark secrets of Yokai Academy, basically the Hogwarts for horny monsters. She's got rice balls for Skune, but honestly she should have brought Jesus instead. Anyway, she gets scared by some bats like it's 2003 Hot Topic energy. Right before Zoom, Kokoa shows up on a motorbike from the depths of chaotic evil, crashes into her, and they pull the classic package swap plot twist like Pokemon mail gone wrong. Kokoa, meanwhile, is fuming like she just lost a Twitter argument, yelling at Kyoko for standing in the middle of the road. She speeds off on her plan to get Sis back, leaving Kyoko stewing in full Karen curiosity. She finally gets to the school and instantly starts dissing the architecture like, "Wow, why is this place so emo instead of modern? Girl, you're literally walking into a demon academy, not a Starbucks." Then she spots Skune, that sentient oatmeal cookie of a protagonist, just strolling with Mocha, probably thinking he's the main character of life. Before she can cringe too hard, Kurumu materializes in a maid outfit talking about serving her man, proving she's down worse than a Reddit mod during No Nut November. Yukari bonks her with a wash tub, domestic battery, anime edition, but then Misery joins, freezes her, and we've got full harem warfare. Kyoko's lurking, thinking she's witnessing live market research for the Monster Girl OnlyFans industry, and somehow lands on the theory that the school literally trains girls for the sex trade. Top-tier detective, 0 IQ. Then she hears a voice calling her master, opens her delivery bag, and instead of rice balls, boom, magic mirror drop. Kyoko's like, how did Auntie's rice balls turn into a mirror? Girl, that's literally witchcraft, not DoorDash. Across campus, Kokoa's realizing the switch too, while Ko's out here moaning that the rice balls slap harder than any home-cooked meal. Kokoa slaps him back to reality. Meanwhile, Kyoko gets flashbanged by green light. Lilith the mirror spirit jumps out like a fairy with 0 chill. Kyoko, being the Costco discount version of Scooby-Doo, yeets herself off thinking it's a prank show. Lilith's like, "Oh, you're human. Let me trauma dump some monster truths on you." She shows the fan club dudes the mirror, revealing their monster forms, and they collectively panic like kids caught changing passwords on school Wi-Fi. Lilith explains the mirror reveals everyone's true self. Kyoko's still like, "Wow, cool special effects." Brain.exe not found. So Lilith's like, "Fine, let's make it worse," and grants her wish to learn the truth about the academy. Cut to Kurumu and Yukari on their baker cake simping mission when Lilith just pulls up and zaps them. They go feral, eyes red, brains gone, thirst levels maxed. Over in the news club, Tsukune's wondering where his chaos mob is. Mocha falls onto him, they share a moment, then she immediately reverts to vampire mode and bites him like apple, taking another bite out of your wallet. Ruby bursts in, dressed as a security guard, talking about stolen artifacts. Before anyone can say plot, Gin busts down the door yelling "panties," like the world's horniest werewolf live streaming from hell. Tsukune tries fighting him off, but he's such a weak beta that Ruby literally has to explain half the situation before everyone realizes the whole school's transforming into demons. Tsukune, trying his best NPC act of leadership, runs off to fix it. Meanwhile, Kyoko's at the pool, realizing the monster thing is actually real. She begs Lilith to stop, but the reflection gremlin just dips, leaving her to get hunted by Ms. Ririko, a dominatrix plant teacher sniffing her like free lunch. Thankfully, Mocha jumps in and saves Kyoko, who immediately has a trust crisis like, "Wait, you're a monster too. Girl, priorities." Big aerial tag team moment. Mocha and Kyoko yoink the mirror. Inner Mocha gets summoned like DLC content unlocked, and she proceeds to fold Ririko into a smoothie. But Lilith wildcards it again and separates both Mocha's inner and outer, making Kyoko question reality like she just saw a TikTok conspiracy theory. Just as things go south, Tsukune, the spinachless Popeye, arrives with the squad. They work together, blindfold themselves Django style, and unleash the Learn Your Place attack that sends Lilith crashing like a Windows 98 program. Everything reverts to normal, meaning no more feral waifu thirst. Cocoa gets roasted for being the thief. Ruby drags her screaming to detention. And just as Tsukune's thinking it's over, the sky starts breaking apart. The Great Barrier's dying because of too much exposed monster energy. So yeah, congrats Tsukune, your stink breath's about to be vaporized right along with your dignity. So this episode opens with Kasumi Aono just vibing at home watching some cursed weather channel when an earthquake straight up tells her, "Surprise, you live in anime world now." She runs outside and boom. Yokai Academy is literally upside down in the sky like someone rage quit God mode in Minecraft. Back at the school, everyone's staring at the sky having a collective panic attack. Kurumu's like, "Bro, what is happening?" Ruby pops up all dramatic, saying the Great Barrier is breaking. Everyone's confused because didn't they shut down Lilith's mirror? Ruby explains, "Yeah, but the rosary overloaded from too much monster energy. Sounds like ChatGPT trying to handle free trial users." Mocha clutches her necklace like she's buffering. Kyoko starts screaming they're all gonna get eaten. Mocha runs off. Classic main girl energy. She ends up at the barrier control room, seeing a busted rosary that looks exactly like hers. Tsukune, aka the ugliest beta to ever exist, shows up panting with his harem of psychotic fans, Kurumu, Ruby, Kyoko, Yukari, and Mizore. Mocha announces her big plan. She's gonna replace the broken rosary with hers, even if it means turning into Inner Mocha forever. Basically uninstalling her Soft Girl DLC and uploading the Feral Vampire expansion pack. She lets Tsukune, the no-riz NPC, pull off her rosary. It repairs the barrier, saves the world, turns her into Inner Mocha but with Outer's heart. And what does bumboy Skune do? Cry and reach out like an unpaid extra in a breakup TikTok. Fast forward a month later, and life's back to normal. Well, except now Skune's walking L energy 24/7 because inner Mocha's the only one left. She barely responds in class, reading fight magazines like she's farming combos for Smash Brothers. The simp can't even look at her, probably because his breath could exorcise demons. Gym class hits different, though. Kurumu's whining, Mizure's stalking, Yukari's still pretending she's got jiggle physics, and all three thirst traps start rubbing up on Skune, trying to claim the sausage prize. Then inner Mocha walks in, sees the buffoonery, and instead of stopping it goes, "Teach me how to riz like that." Bro, Skune's soul left his body. At lunch, Mocha tries to sit with him but gets intercepted by fangirls, only for Cocoa to pull a "she's my sister, so I get the clout." Meanwhile, Skune's up on the roof moping like a SoundCloud rapper. Mocha finally joins him, suggests they gaze into each other's eyes. Romantic? Nah, he's literally imagining the wrong Mocha the whole time. Girl realizes she's competing with her own alter ego for this beta's affection, peak clown world. Kurumu, Mizure, and Yukari spy on them, roasting Mocha's lack of social awareness while plotting to cheer up their loser protagonist. Cocoa, of course, is watching like a Dollar Tree Batman, muttering about keeping him from doing something stupid. Night falls, Ruby checks the barrier, still intact, and reports to the director, who just casually drops Lord of the Rings tier lore. Both rosaries were made by the same dude, one of the 3 Dark Lords. Ruby's like, "Wait, what?" He tells her to keep quiet, classic sketchy boss move. Next day, the teacher announces Future Paths Day. Skune calls his mum, who talks about the storm and says Kyoko's crying like she committed war crimes. Skune's like, "Nah, it's chill." But we all know this man isn't chill. He's clinically miserable. Ruby stalks him later and hears him crying about wanting to see Mocha again. Girl realizes she's gotta break the rules. That night, she yeets a rock at his window and spills the tea. There is a way to bring outer Mocha back. Suddenly, all their parents show up on campus, and it becomes Jerry Springer with magic powers, mums fighting over who gets to call Skune son-in-law. Dads just stand there like, "Bro, we married that." While the moms reenact Smash Ultimate, Skune dips out, gets on his bike, and rides into the supernatural tunnel to the Dark Lord's castle. The bus driver's like, "You sure, kid?" And Skune drops one Sigma line, "No regrets." Meanwhile, Cocoa's plotting murder, and Ko begs for death after being mauled by literal monster MILFs. Skune, our local bottom-tier beta, stumbles into the northern barrier like it's a Skyrim mod that forgot to load textures. Dude's shaking in the cold, trying to find the Dark Lord's castle so he can bring back his vampire waifu. But before he can even get a GPS signal, Ko and his budget army of bats drop in like malware. Skune screams at them to back off, like yelling ever worked, and then his eyes glow red, turning him into Wish.com Dracula. He literally headbutts Ku into orbit like he just downloaded a headbutt upgrade from ChatGPT. Meanwhile, Cocoa's behind a tree, acting like a side quest that didn't trigger. She decides she'll handle it herself, but boom, Tsurara and her Snow Girl army roll up like a frosty Karen convention and launch her into next week. Skune trudges through the tundra, whining about how cold it is. Yeah, genius, it's the northern barrier. Suddenly, Tsurara and her ice squad block him again, and this time Daddy Yeti, Mr. Shirayuki, shows up in his goofy fursuit trying to marry him off to Mizore. Skune's like, "Nah, I'm good," because even this NPC knows he's not ready to commit. Mizore arrives, telling her mum to chill, literally, and says she wants to help her man chase another woman because that's apparently what love looks like in this cursed anime. Mama Tsurara doesn't buy the Ice Girl boss act and triggers a snowstorm, but Yukari drops in like a chaotic hacker, spamming the wash tub spell from above. Her mom outdoes her with a full orbital strike of basins. Everyone's buried in metal, so the poor bum gets sent ahead while the mums and daughters throw hands. Skune reaches the bridge but can't cross, bros in a literal dead-end relationship. Suddenly, Ms. Kurono snatches him like he just got Uber Eats kidnapped for a surprise marriage to Kurumu. Skune's confused why everyone wants him for his limited edition sausage. Then Agaha, Kurumu's mom, tries to gaslight him into a poly life. Man's dodging questions like he's allergic to honesty, so Agaha activates her charm DLC. Kurumu then pulls up, yeets her mum into the void, and Skune naturally gropes her while hanging on for dear life. Typical Tuesday. Kurumu, still thirsty, tells him she thought she had a chance after outer Mocha vanished, but nope, dude's heart is still on permanent backorder. Agaha crawls back up like a cockroach. Kurumu says, "Screw this, get the rosary," and Skune runs inside while Kurumu cries over her L. Meanwhile, Mizore and Yukari are getting tossed around by snow fairies like rejected Elsa extras. The Dark Lord watches from his balcony, holding a new rosary like he's about to drop law bombs. Skune finally sneaks into the castle, only for Kokoa to warn him that the Dark Lord is her dad, big reveal energy. She tells him to leave, but this idiot thanks her instead. Bro's so polite it's actually painful. Inside, Issa Shuzen, the ultimate Sigma vampire, pulls 0 punches, calling Skune human filth. He slams him into the wall so hard the building earns earthquake insurance. Skune somehow survives, which shocks Issa, who keeps calling Mocha's rosary a mistake. Skune asks him why he hates humans. Issa says because they hate monsters. Bro, it's called projection. Skune then drops the "I love her" line and immediately gets folded into a column. Issa monologues about sealing his daughter's personality like it's just a parenting style, but Skune, now glowing like a Wi-Fi router, refuses to back down. His eyes go red again, and Issa realizes Mocha gave him her blood, power-up unlocked. He starts swinging like an overcooked turkey, actually punches Issa, and Mocha steps in like, "Dad, stop bullying my simp." Issa admits defeat, gives Skune the rosary, but clarifies he's not giving permission to clap his daughter. Before Skune can even sneeze, Kokoa steals the rosary. The castle starts exploding because Issa's the type to rage quit by nuking his own house. At dusk, all the girls regroup looking like they lost half their outfits to fanservice.exe. Mocha asks if Skune prefers outer her, but the whole harem jumps in, demanding answers. He gives the classic "I can't choose yet" speech, major coward move, and Mocha punts him like a football for it. She then decides she wants to do that thing, and bites him, draining him like a Capri Sun. She seals herself, and outer Mocha's back. Cue the romantic staring, until Mocha bear hugs him into medical debt and bites him again, turning him into beef jerky. Kurumu freaks out, Mizore and Yukari fight for corpse-kissing rights, but the bus horn interrupts. Ms. Nekonome and Ruby roll up with the mums tied up in the backseat like failed DLC bosses. They all head back to the academy while Kokoa gets caught by Issa and absolutely clapped for starting this nonsense. Finally, at the academy, Skune and Mocha dance, until the entire simp harem rushes the floor. It's chaos, y'all. Kokoa rolls in with Lilith's mirror and splits Mocha again. Skune's surrounded by every thirsty girl in the show. Man's living the dream and the nightmare all at once.
Simpin ain't easy, yeah, I'm catching that brain rot. Mocha in my DMs, now she ghosting on the spot. All these monsters want the sausage, I ain't even got a plot. Simpin ain't easy, but I'm raising what I got, yo. Yeah, I'm Skune, I don't know, the accidental sigma. Human in the halls, but the yolk I still figure. Mocha sucking blood like it's Starbucks on tap, but she never called back, girl, what's up with that? Got Kurumu in the wings, thirsty with that charm. Yukari throwing spells, tryna lock me in her arms. Miso red popping out of nowhere, tryna chill my heart. Ruby saying sensei, but that's just the Simpin ain't easy, I'm down bad for a vamp. Mocha got that aura, but she play me like a champ. Kurumu got that circle swag, tryna set up camp. I got options on deck, but my heart got cramps. Sir Tangleton talking wild, saying I smell like mid. Them girls too good for you, bruh, stay out my biz. He posting on the forums, tryna farm some clout, but I'm main character coded, ain't no doubt. I'm tired of being an NPC in or out. She biting my neck, I'm falling out, no shout. All this brain red in my system got me crossing lines. Need some therapy or just Ruby's vines. Simpin ain't easy, caught in that thirsty loop. She drinking from my neck while I'm losing my cool. Simpin ain't easy, I might just reboot. Cause every girl in class tryna join my troop. Down bad, yeah, I'm lost in the thirst. Sigma mind say, bro, put yourself first. But the wrist too strong and my heart too soft. Even the snow girl say she tryna defrost. No cap, I could pull, ain't no maybe, but Mars stuck glitching like it's 2008, baby. If Mocha don't see it, I'll vibe elsewhere. Free, cause Simpin ain't easy, but it sure ain't me.
And that's a wrap on Rosario to Vampire Season 2. Skune out here surviving every supernatural thirst trap like he's got plot armor forged by simp energy alone. My dude went from please don't bite me to actually I run this harem now. Character development? Nah, just pure main character immunity. Anyway, if you vibed with this recap, hit that like button harder than Mocha hits a monster mid-fight, and don't forget to sub for more chaos from yours truly, Sir Tangleton. You're watching Entangled Things, where the anime logic is questionable, but the entertainment? Always top tier. Stay tangled, folks.